decision if we're going to rescind or not.
Okay. The motion dies for lack of second. We'll move the
Okay.
conversation to next week.
Okay. Is that all right?
Yep, that's good.
Okay.
Public comment. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, my name is Mike Balco. I live on Howard Drive in the Brookshire allotment. I had a question pertaining to the ARPA funds. Will the commissioners schedule a public meeting with all three commissioners at the meeting in the future? Would that be possible?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Could be,
we're-
yeah, sure.
Yeah, we're gonna, like we said, this is something that, as far as, this isn't new to anybody, this project, obviously, and it's not new to you guys, and I, not to get too off in the weeds, this has been an undue hardship, I think, put on the residents of this community. That being said, this project was initiated and started before those ARPA funds came. It's just come to our attention within the last, well, I guess it was Wednesday, I wasn't at the meeting, but there may be a ability to use those, some or all of the funds to alleviate some of that burden on the residents. But we, as commissioners, have not talked to our legal counsel yet to get a definite opinion if we can use those funds yet on that. There are some federal guidelines that may need to be met in certain projects, since this project is almost complete and has already been underway. And the loan's been taken out, correct?
Yes.
So if we can use those, then yes, we would have a public meeting to discuss moving forward and seeing what, if anything, if we'll use those funds, if not to help alleviate some of it or all of it, or what we can do.
Okay, I just wanted it to go down as public record.
Yeah.
Thank
Sure.
you.
I mean, anytime we meet as a board, it'll be in public, so.
Go ahead.
Hi, my
Yes.
name is
Go ahead. state
my
your
name is Margie Russ. I'm on Howard Drive. I'm also involved in the sewer project, and I have a couple questions for you, commissioners. Why did you come up with the resolution to assess our homes instead of using any other funds or any other means?
Well, the process to assess, which has been discussed since the beginning of the construction out there, or actually even before the construction, is there's rules within the Ohio Revised Code we have to follow for that. This project was put in because of the failing septic systems within that
Totally
subdivision.
understood.
And we
Second
did
question.
Just one word. We did search out before we started even construction.
I realize that.
Any free money we could find.
Yeah, I mean, this was, we
Great.
talked to our state representatives trying to find grant money, years ago. I think
Right.
you were probably aware.
But let's fast forward. We've
Yeah.
got funds.
Well,
We have funds.
we might.
Under the infrastructure
Yeah.
that we should be used,
Yeah.
that your legal counsel is going to go and investigate.
Right.
How does that timeline tie into the meeting with the prosecutor's office and having a public meeting? Because this deadline is ticking away on us as homeowners. And also, who else has applied for those funds to use in Geauga County?
We've had some letters of request.
There's been lots of requests.
So is that our procedure, that this community needs to put in an official letter of request? Or is that what you guys are going to do?
Well, that's what happened in the past. We had a letter from the hospital during the COVID. All the hospitals took a beating, but yet they're still getting funds from the federal government for taking somebody in with COVID and things like that. So that's the only formal letter that we received is from the hospital. That I know.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I think is we're taking the discussion at the meeting on Wednesday as the formal request from them.
Okay.
There's no-
Just want to make sure you're not waiting on us
No.
or thinking that we're going to do this with
No, we
where
don't.
this is your specialty. And this is why you folks are here to represent us.
And to be clear, the amount we're talking about is close to about $3.2 million.
Yes.
Okay, and the county has received, what, about $9 million?
Well, we've received $9 million at this point. There's scheduled to be another $9 million coming next this year.
on top of that.
Yeah.
So there'll be a total of about 18.
Correct.
And how many houses, or how many houses? are we talking
113.
about?
113.
113 homes.
Trustee Mike Brown, a question.
I just want to reiterate everything that the residents here are saying and implore you to see about using these ARPA funds. As a township, we've inquired upon the prosecutor's office about using our small amount of ARPA funds to try to help with the tie-ins. Would it help at all if you're talking about formal requests? We meet tomorrow night. I can have a formal request from Chardon Township on behalf of the trustees, on behalf of these residents, to you Thursday morning.
Yeah, sure.
For the record, I think I, as a resident, would appreciate that.
Yes, I mean.
An additional formal letter.
We've wrote to every representative in past office and current office trying to find anything, and there's been very little help.
Yeah, no,
This
I
is
know.
going to be a tremendous detrimental
And this,
impact on our town.
I mean, I don't know how long you've been a trustee there. Have you been there?
17 years.
17. So you were part of the initial process.
I sat in on the conference call initially that we had
Yeah.
with the EPA, imploring them to test all the systems,
Right.
as opposed to doing this, because I'll be honest with you, this was unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, this was not.
This was
just to be
4 or
clear-
5 people that tied directly into that common
Right.
trunk line.
Right. I mean, this was something prior to my being a commissioner. I know
Yes.
it originated, but, and, you know, this thing has been, it just doesn't make logical sense, you know, what they're trying to, on these types of, anybody's home, even if these were, you know, $1 million homes, it would still be unnecessary and burdensome, I think, you know, but I just want to make it clear that this is not a project that the county commissioners prior to us or the current, or this board has been pushing to build a sewer system in that area. This is the EPA that has been the ones
I know.
mandating this project.
I know, and I want to clarify there on one
Yeah.
thing. It's been put in the paper before, different people from different county agencies saying this is something the township trustees asked for.
Right,
That is not true.
right. Yeah, I don't think anybody asked for this, you know, this, and
No.
again, one of my concerns, you know, the cat's out of the bag, and I believe that the EPA is waiting in the wings. This is not the only example in Geauga County where this could potentially happen. I mean, there's other, without naming names, I'm sure people can think of them off the top of their head where this is gonna potentially happen again, so, I guess and I guess what we need to weigh as a board is, you know, we have had this windfall of money, I guess, that, you know, a few months ago wasn't here, or it wasn't even an option. So, do we utilize, you know, 1/6 of our ARPA funds on 113 homes, knowing that there's been other sewer projects in the county that have had to pay for theirs, and they've actually, some of them are still paying on theirs, so they're gonna be like, where's our relief, you know, or where's the future relief, you know? So, it's, this is not a good position for anybody to be in, but we're gonna weigh our options, and you know, if we're legally allowed to use this for this particular project, I'm gonna consider it very seriously to see what we can do to help with that.
And I'm sure we know that there is a time limit to appropriate these funds.
We're all aware of that.
And do we know what that date is, so that the public
Yeah.
knows?
December 31st, 2026, to have all the funds be used up.
If I may